Alrighty guys, we're back for the Grim Captain, and this is a Lost Caverns of Ixalan standard brew. We're going to go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked, but first things first, for anyone who may not know, I'm Red Cat and I build all kinds of different decks, but I do prefer aggro decks and any decks with red in them as well. Also, we do have that Discord link as well as that Patreon link down in the description if you're interested in joining either of those up. Okay, what do we got packed into the build here? We got Throne of the Grim Captain, which reminds me, this was a suggestion to go ahead and visit this card over in the Discord, so thank you so much for the suggestion. It's going to be a fun one. It's a 2-mana legendary artifact. You can tap it, mill 2 cards. Now you can craft this with a dinosaur, a merfolk, and a pirate, and a vampire for 4 mana. So when you craft something, you exile those off the field or in your graveyard and exile this card, and then you craft it into the flip side of this, which is the Grim Captain. It's a 7/7 legendary creature. Skeleton, Spirit, Pirate. Cool. Menace, Trample, Lifelink, Hexproof. Oh my goodness. Whenever the Grim Captain attacks, each opponent sacrifices a non-land permanent. Then you may put an exiled creature card used to craft the Grim Captain onto the battlefield under your control, tapped and attacking. So that could be absolutely wild, dude. Once you get this onto the board, the only thing you're scared of is board wipes at that point, pretty much, right? So yeah, pretty cool build around card. Now we do have 7 dinosaurs. We have 7 merfolk, 7 pirates, and 7 vampires. So hopefully we're doing an all right job here. One of them is Ghalta, which acts as a dinosaur and a vampire. So this is a 7 mana 12/12 with trample, and whenever you attack, you get to choose one of these abilities. Yeah, they get a tapped and attacking XX green dinosaur creature token with trample, where X is the greatest power among other attacking creatures. Or you create X/1/1 white vampire creature tokens with lifelink, where X is the number of other attacking creatures. Pretty neat card, dude. The only problem is if you bring this out off of like the Grim Captain, or for that matter off of like an Olivia or something, it's already tapped and attacking, so you're not going to actually get the ability, but it's still a 12/12 trample, which is kind of awesome, right? Speaking of that, Olivia, yep, this is one of the vampires. It's a 6 mana 3/4 flying haste, and whenever it attacks, you return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield, tapped and attacking. It gains when you don't control a legendary vampire, exile this creature. Nice. It is actually a pretty solid card that we've played with a lot on the channel. Okay, let's see. Might as well continue going over the top end here. We have a single Etali because it's a dinosaur and it's a good one. We have a couple Trumpeting Connoisseurs here. This is a 6 mana 7/6 with trample. When it ETBs, you discover 5. Nice. And then for 2 and a red, discard Trumpeting Connoisseur. It deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker. Nice, dude. So it acts as removal. It goes into the graveyard, ready to craft with the Throne of the Grim Captain. Just a really powerful dinosaur. And you know, after going over it here, I'm wondering if we actually want more of these in here, right? Because it is going to act as one of our pieces of removal. Another piece of removal, or that we're considering removal in here, is Kitesail Larcenist, which is one of the pirates as well. It's a 3 mana 2/3 flying ward 1 when it ETBs for each player, so you can do this for yourself too. Choose up to 1 other target artifact or creature that player controls. For as long as Kitesail Larcenist remains on the battlefield, the chosen permanents become treasure artifacts with tap, sacrifice, and artifact. Add 1 mana of any color, of course, right? The treasure. It reads like a treasure, and it loses all other abilities. Nice. Okay, so we played with Larcenist a few times, and it is pretty good as far as I can tell. It is powerful. The ward 1 really comes in handy all the time, like way more than you would ever expect, right? More pirates in the 3-drop spot. Plundering Pirate. It's just a 3 mana 3/2. When it ETBs, create a treasure token. Nice. I think that treasure token's actually going to go a very long way in here. We're rocking like teamer colors with a splash of black and a splash of white for the top end. And the mana base is hopefully going to be well enough for those splashes, and we're not really trying to cast these out directly. We're really trying to just go for the Throne of the Grim Captain plays, right? So hopefully the splash is fine, but yeah, I do think that treasure is really going to come in handy. And we might as well finish going over the 3 mana cards. We have Confounding Riddle in here. This is a 3 mana instant speed. Choose 1. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. Put 1 of them into your hand. Put the rest into your graveyard. So that helps stock up our graveyard with everything we need for the throne, right? Or just counter target spell unless its controller pays 4, which is a hefty sum of tax for the opponent. It'll probably get countered whatever it is, right? We also have a Bonehoard Dracosaur here as another dinosaur. It's a 2-of in here. A 5 mana 5/5 flying first strike at the beginning of your upkeep. Exile the top 2 cards of your library. You may play them this turn. If you exiled a land card this way, you create a 3/1 red dinosaur creature token. If you exiled a non-land card this way, you create a treasure token. And again, those treasure tokens are probably going to go a long way in a deck like this. Okay, what do we got at the front of the build? We have 3 Voldaren Epicures as more vampires, and the blood tokens obviously help stock our graveyard with everything we need for the throne. We have Jadelight Spelunker here. It's an X and a green 1/1, and when it ETBs, you explore X times. Now, when you explore, you reveal the top card of your library. You put it into your hand if it's a land. Otherwise, you put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Then put the card back or put it into your graveyard. Nice. So another way to stock up your graveyard potentially, right? We have more pirates. We have a single Malcolm in here, which has that discard ability. A lot of text. I'm actually not going to go over it. Whenever it actually hits, you just get to discard, which stocks up our grave. It has this whole other ability where you get counters and whatnot, which helps you play things eventually, but doesn't come into play that often, honestly. We have 4 Vodalian Hexcatchers, something like that. It's a 2 mana 1/1 with flash. Other merfolk you control get +1/+1. You sacrifice a merfolk, counter target non-creature spell unless its controller pays 1. So hopefully that'll help us counter like board wipes, right? So they drop a 5 mana Sunfall with 5 mana, and you happen to have Hexcatcher. You can drop Hexcatcher, sacrifice itself, and now the opponent has to pay 1 extra. Maybe you just saved your Grim Captain, right? So, and we have ways to give haste to that Grim Captain as well with a couple bitter reunions. Another way to stock up the grave too. So, and I'll tell you what, man. I'll tell you what, that bottom ability given haste has won us plenty of games. Maybe we want more bitter reunions in here too, right? Something to go over in the final thoughts potentially. Okay, the mess of a mana base, guys. We have the teamer colors opting for early blue, early red, early blue, early green, then late red, late green. We also have a Restless Reef in here, which could help stock up the grave. We have a bunch of Triomes to help splash that top end. Hopefully they're not holding us up too often. And teamer colors up here with a Who Endures Crucible and a Soaring City. Okay, we have some honorable mentions. Make Disappear didn't make the cut, but it almost did. Breaches could have been cool in here too. And Topiary Stomper. That's that, guys. Oh, buddy, I hope I went over this one well enough. It kind of like, it feels like it's going to be a mess, but at the same time, I put a lot of thought into it. So hopefully it's not a mess. You know what I mean? And especially like the mana base. I don't think the mana base is going to hold us up, even though it looks super messy, but yeah, I guess we'll see, huh? Let's go ahead, take it into some ranked and see how we do. Okay, we'll see if we can get right into that first game. Of course we do, right? Let's see if we can pull off the Grim Captain in this first game. That'd be sick, dude. Okay, we got our Merfolk, we got our Vampire, and that's it. Well, it's not a bad hand, though, I would say. Not with the filter. The filter on Bitter Reunion really helps out. And, like, turn 1 Xander's Lounge doesn't hurt at all. Got our green source with the Coast. We could probably play, yeah, another Coast. Ooh, that was a fast Giada. I guess they did go first, didn't they? Okay, Bitter Reunion, ditch a Reef. I don't really want to send Olivia to the grave right now. Not when we have this much mana, too. Okay, another Hexcatcher isn't bad. Okay, Resplendent Angel. They're rocking Boros colors over there, too, man. That's a lot of mana. Should it be Splunker for 2? Probably, right? See what we see on top with it. Okay, I suppose we move that to the grave, right? That's a perfect thing to pick up with Olivia when it comes time. Just because it's... Oh, another one! Okay, sure. Send it to the grave. Alright, so there's our dinosaur. So we're missing a pirate, and we're obviously missing our main card too, the throne. That's a lot of damage in the air, man. Oh, I just realized they're not swinging with the Giada before tapping it for main phase 2. Voice of the Blast. Holy cow, dude, we are in trouble, man. we are in some serious trouble. That's a wild turn 4 board state. This ramp will have turn 5 Olivia, but it's just not enough, is it? A red source. We're not going to be taking damage here. I'm going to go ahead and get the reef down. At the very least, this could chump on the ground if they get the Voice of the Blessed a little bit too chunky, right? And we do have... Okay, so if one of these gets spot removed too, then we'll still have the chump blocker on the ground. And we do have Hexcatcher if we need it. But I'd rather just use that treasure to ramp into Olivia next turn to bring back the Ghalta, but then we die on the turn after that anyways. Okay. No attacks. Unfortunately, I feel like we were doing relatively fine over here for turn 4. We have a pretty terrific setup, I would say. But the opponent's deck is just doing way too much in the air, right? Okay, Inspiring Overseer. Yeah, it's definitely not the Hexcatcher for the turn. Unless this 1 mana is something incredible that we want to counter. See, still blocks on the ground. And no swing from the Giada again with that Vigilance. Would we have died this game? No. I think they might have missed like 6 damage on this Giada though. Either way, we'd still be alive by some miracle. Now they're at 18. They have plenty of blockers. If we go Olivia, we would have a blocker in the air, but a full swing just ends it regardless. So I say we do the fun thing. And we go for a full swing on our side, right? Now, if we actually did get the Ghalta ability, then that potentially could have been game, right? Well, we could have created a dinosaur, but it would have just been a 3/3. Guys, what happened? Oh my goodness. They blocked in the air and they let the rest go through. 18 damage. GG? Opponent? I mean, I'll take the victory. I'll take it. Like, sometimes it feels like victories are very hard to come by, you know? Yeah. Okay. I mean, we like, that was just a ton of damage swinging through. Am I missing something there? I don't know, because I was like busy talking about the cards. I suppose, yeah, they could have blocked with those other creatures, right? I don't think I'm missing anything. Just a GG, I suppose. All right, right into the next one. Let's see if we can get the combo this time round. Our deck totally did a thing, though, man. That little bit of ramp, that turn 5, Olivia was sweet. Okay, Vampire, Dinosaur, Grim Captain. Oh, yeah, dude. We go first, too? Oh, buddy. What do I want? Do I want turn 1 Epicure, turn 2 Throne, and then fit Jetmir's Garden down whenever? Probably. We probably do our best to do everything possible every turn. Yeah, we'll fit this on the board another time. Could be Bitter Reunion instead of the Throne, but I want to start milling with Throne probably. Well, the draw on the Bitter Reunion and the discard kind of does the same thing. It's probably, well... Okay. Okay, I'm gonna start the mill process with Throne. I don't think there's a reason to wait until the end of the opponent's turn with that. Oh! Hopefully those land don't matter. They drop us the nice. Let's see if they trade here. They do not. Because even if it goes to the grave, we'll be able to pick it up. And then them getting rid of their Siren could be decent for us. But thank you for the nice opponent. Fallen Pirate on the Cavern. Ooh, there's our Merfolk. Okay. So I suppose we start with Mill, then Bitter Reunion? I don't know. What's the protocol here, guys? More land. Great. Thank you, opponent. Thank you. That's really funny, actually. Yeah, we'll go Bitter Reunion, see if it gets countered. Okay. And then I guess Ghalta, right? Dino in the grave. Dino or Vampire in the grave. And Hexcatcher. Because we're not going to be casting out Ghalta anytime soon, is the process there. Pirate, Vampire, Dino. Okay, we got everything. Alright, I guess I swing. I don't know the protocol. Do we swing beforehand? Like, because we don't really care if our creature dies to anything here either. One big thing, we're gonna need the 4th mana. We need to get all this into the grave, and we need the 4th mana. So how do we go about that? So we have Vampire. We don't need to get a Vampire into the grave because we have Vampire on the board. We have Dinosaur. We need Pirate Merfolk in the grave or on the board, I guess. Yeah, so I guess like we could use Larcenist as removal until we find mana for the Grim Captain, which I suppose we could turn our Epicure into treasure. Do I do that though? What do I want to hit here too? Do I want to hit, I guess Breaches is a pretty good target, huh? There we go. We got the mana for it. Again, like, what's the protocol here, man? Like, do I This feels really silly. Okay, this time I'll wait till their turn to mill. Just because, like, I'm just, like, all over the place already. We might as well just test, like, see what the heck's up with the deck. Okay, they do have the ward. If they give us treasure, so we get Epicure back, they get their Breaches back. They pay with the other treasure, not the Breaches treasure. Okay. We could use the... Oh. That's weird. That's super weird, man. 1, 2, 3, we'll have 2 in the grave, Merfolk on the board. But if we don't see a... Okay. We don't see a mana, then we won't have it anyways. I was thinking, like, if we go Hexcatcher and ditch our treasures to the grave, but we should wait because we might just go Dracosaur in the air. Alright, let's see what we mill. Probably 2 land, right? Yeah, 1 land. We definitely want to see that, though. Dracosaur's probably coming down. Oh! 4th mana. Okay. So, we got Merfolk, Dinosaur. We need to use you as anything, right? Anything? I guess we start with the mill. Does that tap it down, though, after the transform? I don't know how any of this works, guys. I apparently have never played Magic before. This is really funny, man. Okay, Vampire, yep, and then we need the Pirate in the grave. This feels so silly, man. This feels so silly. No! Opponent, come back! What are you doing? Okay, so they didn't want us to have any fun, unfortunately, guys. But we had it all in the grave. Then we were going to use the 2 mana to power up the Grim Captain. So, question for the comments. when we tap this to mill and we power up the Grim Captain, I know it transforms into that, but does it come out untapped or does it transform tapped because we tapped it to mill? Does it say under like the craft ability there? Return it, exile this card, return it transformed. So it must return untapped. So we could have used the mill first, as far as I can tell. I was just scared to do it. Okay, anyways, yeah, we were going to give it haste with Bitter Reunion, then we were going to swing, and we were going to grab the Ghalta off of that, too. So we were going to gain 7 on the Grim Captain. It does have Menace, too, so they didn't even have, like, if they double block that, wasn't enough to kill it. Ghalta was getting through, too. Yikes. Okay, I understand the concede, but still, I wanted to have fun. We pulled off the combo. I mean, that counts, right? That totally counts. Even though we didn't, like, we weren't allowed doing it, we still pulled it off. My brain hurts after that game because, like, everything felt like we could have just been doing it at any time. Like, everything we had felt like we could do it all the time. And so, like, what's the protocol for, like, a deck like this? Do we still wait till the opponent's turn and stuff? Like, it just felt all over the place, man. Ah. Luckily, we didn't get punished for playing all over the place. I'd say we give this a shot, dude. Isn't bad at all. Teething Wormlet. Bitter Reunion's excellent. Excellent draw there. Okay, doubling down on the Wormlets. We do have our green source now. That's good news. Do I attempt to just flash in and take out a Wormlet? Maybe. Bitter Reunion isn't bad too. I'd rather have better stuff to discard to the Bitter Reunion for now, and we don't need like the extra card draw right now either, so. Okay, Wormlet's getting the boost. That's unfortunate. Malcolm could still take one out before they get out of hand. Okay, they're getting out of hand, unfortunately. Wait. The counter only happens... No, the counter happens once a turn. The life gain... Okay, good. Yeah, we should trade one out. Because that could get out of hand really fast. Just a couple turns, like, in their 4/4s. That might be a little bit too much for us to deal with, unfortunately. Ooh, Jadelight Spelunker. Could also keep Confounding Riddle open with Hexcatcher, too. What the heck's up? I don't know if I can play Magic today, guys. I like... Maybe it's the deck giving me too many options? But I don't see any clear paths here. Everything works, man. I don't know. I don't know what to do. Like, I also would have been completely fine just going X's 2 on the Spelunker there. Okay, Wormlet going up to 3. I might use the top part of Confounding Riddle. Stock our grave, maybe. Maybe find the throne. We still have 2 open over there. And they'll get to explore with that. Dude, opponent. Really cool deck. This looks sick. What's that? Ooh. Let's put into the graveyard from the battlefield. Discover 3 as well. Wow. Okay. Yep. So I guess we'll take the damage. Down to 10. Alright, let's see. Let's see what we can find on this Confounding Riddle. Trumpeting Connoisseur does get rid of the Wormlet. We're going to have a problem with this Subterranean Schooner, or whatever it's called. It's probably this to hand and then use it as removal, right? Ghalta in the grave. Olivia. Ooh, buddy. If we take care of Wormlet. If 2 open, it could be a counter spell, but luckily this bottom ability would be pretty hard to counter. I'm going to play this as a land because we're going to need as much land on the board as possible. Yeah, we're kind of on the run. I don't really want to do this on their turn, but we probably should keep it for their turn just in case there's something even worse that we want to use Confounding Riddle on, right? My apologies, opponents. Yeah, it's like I keep joking. Apparently, I'm really struggling to play Magic today. That's what it feels like, but it might be the deck. Right, so power up to... Yeah, we're just, like, in a lot of trouble, aren't we? I guess we counter that, actually. Right? Right, guys? I don't know. Send help. Because they power up the schooner so easily here. They get to get this board state even more stocked. Counters galore, down to 2. Like, the Connoisseur would have been a great hit there, but... Yeah, dude, wow, this Simic deck looks really sick. That looks really cool. So we start with Bitter Reunion, because we could end up finding... I'm going to get rid of the Hexcatcher, which we actually could have done Hexcatcher last time, sacrificed itself. I'm just now realizing, yeah, this is a non-creature spell, so we could have done that. Throne of the Grim Captain. Hey, we got there, guys. We got it in hand. No land. The concept there was, of course, to find an untapped land too. Either way, we were goners. Down to 1. See what we see on the Spelunker. Olivia will send to the grave. Yep, not this time round. If we saw an untapped source, we still wouldn't even... I mean, either way, they were going to get in the air. Larcenist was pretty good, though. That was pretty good. This vehicle looks wild, man. Hey, good game, opponent. They had Tough Cookie in there, too. Wow. I really like the opponent's deck here. That's really sick. How far are we? 27 minutes? Okay, all right. All right, I'm going to sit up straight. I'm going to do a better job, guys. Let's do this. I can't sit here and blame the deck the whole time, you know? Maybe it's just one of those days, but... And hopefully I'm not playing it out as poorly as I think I am, too. Maybe I'm doing an all right job. Maybe. You guys, let me know. Let me know. Okay, we have Hexcatcher, Etali, a Jadelight Spelunker, Throne. I mean, this is good, right? This is excellent. We start with Rockfall Vale to guarantee a turn 2 Throne. Because there's no guarantee we're going to draw an untapped land. Hey, guys, the mana feels fine, right? In these games. The mana hasn't been holding us up at all, I don't think. Boy, I hope that's not a Spell Pierce. Okay, it's not. And I guess this time around, we'll just test using Throne of the Grim Captain at the end of the opponent's turn. Yeah, I don't think there's any reason to actually hold that back. But I guess we're doing it just for funsies. Okay, Merfolk in the grave. We have Dino, Pirate, Merfolk. We don't have Vampire. Okay. We could go Spelunker 2, Larcenist, take care of Wayfinder. Spelunker 2 might be enough. This is a turn where we start with the mill, right? To see what we see in the grave. Oh, well, we're going to need that land eventually, but that's okay. All right. All right. Spelunker 2 then. Because I think what we see on the mill may have... Do I want 2 of these just in case? No. Yeah, what we see on the mill may have changed what... Oh, there's the Vampire. Okay, let's see if I can finish the sentence. What we saw off the mill may have changed what we wanted to play out here, too. Exploring twice on the Spelunker means the 3/3 blocks the Wayfinder really well. We have Vampire Merfolk in the grave. Sentinel, huh? Now we just need to get everything else into the grave too, and then find the 4th mana. And then at what? Wow, 3/4 Vigilance. We might want to keep Hexcatcher. Actually, it's probably Larcenist, right? All right, we start with the mill again because we see what we get into the grave. Pirate in the grave, dude. We got Pirate, Merfolk, Vampire. We need a dinosaur into the grave somehow. Yeah, if we get Hexcatcher down as a surprise, the Spelunker blocks the Sentinel really well. But I think it's gonna be Larcenist. No, I'm gonna try the Hexcatcher. I'm sorry, opponent. Apparently, the deck just has a lot of choices all the time. And mana off the top would be good. It's too bad we ended up milling 3 land there. Ooh, oh, this is Merfolk. I'm like, it's just now registering that they have a Merfolk deck over there. Like, I know they've been playing Merfolk, but like this is like a legit, like that's what they're doing. They get a map token. They get a 1/1, and that's not attacking in. All right, let's get this down. Ow, my face. Ow. And then block the Sentinel with a 4/4. They do have 2 mana open. Maybe I should block the Wayfinder so they don't ramp at all. What could that 2 mana be? I think it's Sentinel. I think that's the choice. We don't want them to get a map every turn. The Vigilance is rough. The 3, like, card's just strong, right? I think it's a little stronger than Wayfinder in this current scenario, where they already have 4 mana. Meeting of Minds, draw 2. Okay, nice. Oh, and then they tap. Yeah, the Convoke. The Convoke with the Pilgrimage. That's sick, dude. Let's see if they ramp on the Wayfinder. They do. Cavern. Yep, call Merfolk. Guys, we need to get these. Well, we need to get land too, but can't go Larcenist. We just need to get a dino into the grave. We have 4 dinos in hand. I guess once again we start with the mill and see what happens. Vampire, no land, we need that. Okay, let's get Larcenist down. Let's take this Wayfinder out of the equation. I am going to submit 0 because we still don't have a dinosaur in the grave, so even if we find the 4th, I'm going to start swinging too because we might be able to outpace this. We're both at 16 now. Like I have the 2/3 flyer in the air, right? So there's a small chance that we outpace. Oh, buddy, okay. Second Pilgrimage. They could really start going wide here. Scout, explore, grab a land. That's their 3rd Cavern of Souls. They pass it back. Another Larcenist. I'm so scared I'm going to be milling land this whole time, but also like just getting dinos into the grave regardless. There's 4 dinos in hand though. Okay, let's see what happens. Olivia, Larcenist. Okay, nice. So still no dinos, still no land. We could take 1, 2. Let's swing before the Larcenist. Swing. They chump. Yeah, since they're going to be generating so much anyways, I think that makes sense. I guess Larcenist, and we still don't want to turn anything of our own into a treasure. We would if there was a dino in the grave, but we don't have a dino in the grave, so it is what it is for now. Submit 0, unfortunately, and I suppose we turn the Scout, because I don't think they need more mana, so I think these treasures... Yeah, swinging 4 in the air with Larcenist every turn is pretty wild, too. Oh, another land for the opponent, although this is a good one. I can use that next turn for sure. Map, see what they do. Nice, get a counter. They'll have 2 other cards in hand as well. Spelunker on top. That's a good one. That's a really good one. With all that extra mana, dude. Swing for 3. I still think we can outpace this, though, so I'm taking it. Definitely no blocks there. Mana, let's go. Okay. Okay, do you guys think we mill a dino? Let's try it. Mill that dino. No! We need to get the Dracosaur on the board, I suppose, huh? I suppose so. We're at 12. I don't think we're dead next turn. Spelunker comes down. All right, full swing. Let's do this. Yeah, there's should only be like 3 dinos remaining in the deck anyways. There should be another Dracosaur and 2 Trumpeting Connoisseurs as well. So our best bet would just be to find the 5th mana, get the Dracosaur down, and then I guess let it die. Or like anything that lets us discard, like our Bitter Reunions and stuff too. Jadelight for 3. X is 3. Keeping 2 open, or 4 open with the 2 treasures. And they saw even more mana. Confounding Riddle, huh? Alright, let's see if we see the dino on the mill first. Tasha's Tidebinder. I guess Confounding Riddle, right? On the Tidebinder. Oh, we can't counter it. We can't counter it because Cavern of Souls. Whew, that was close. So they take Throne out of the equation. It loses its abilities, I suppose. Oh, that makes me so sad. So they have enough blockers on the ground now. Oh no. All right, I guess we swing in the air and keep Confounding Riddle open, even though we can't really counter any of their Merfolk. And even if we could... All right, let's see it. Let's see it. We have enough blockers for now. So, yep, GG. Yeah, just the flying in the air was enough to do it, luckily. Wow. I can't tell if we got lucky or unlucky that game. That was just like one of those games, huh? So, I feel like overall, the deck is well suited to power up this Grim Captain. What do you guys think? After all those games today, it felt all right. We had so many dinos in hand. Maybe if we had more ways to discard. Voldaren Epicure, like the blood token, would have been another way to discard one of these dinos too, right? All right, guys. Well, let's go ahead and hop over and talk about the deck a little bit more, huh? Because I don't know how many matches we got in, but it feels like we got a good showcase of matches overall. And we kind of sort of did... We kind of sort of got the Grim Captain, but the opponent ended up conceding there, unfortunately, in that one game. Throne, do we want 4? Probably, since the deck's built around it, but I could also see going down to 3 as well. And just going up more removal will help you against the more, like the faster decks. Like, it's funny to call the Angel deck fast, but they had just an incredibly strong setup on turn 4, which at that point, it feels pretty aggressive for Angels, you know what I mean? Like, it's really hard to come back from a board state like that unless you have like a board wipe. So more early removal for like that Giada would have been huge. So like dropping a Throne of the Grim Captain, going up another Trumpeting Connoisseur could have been sick. Speaking of Connoisseur, this would have been a great way to get the dino into the grave if we just had that discard and remove something. Discard it, now the dino's in the grave. So I do think we want 3 or 4 Connoisseurs. Like I was saying when I was going over the deck, I read the card and I was like, you know what, maybe we want more of these. And I think that is where I'm landing here in the final thoughts too. 3 to 4 of these would be terrific. Other than that, like I think the deck would perform relatively well. I don't even think the mana base held up at all, but I do also think we could successfully not splash. Like we could probably just have Teamer colors over here and be fine. A little bit of treasure for Ghalta and Olivia. See, there's the problem where every now and then you are just going to have to cast these out. Like, you're not going to be cheating them out with Malcolm very often at all, which is why I barely even went over Malcolm, right? You're not going to be, like, cheating them out with Grim Captain as often as you would cast either, right? Well, maybe. Maybe like an equal amount of cheating it out with Grim Captain and playing them out too. Either way, you just really want them in the graveyard anyways. So, I don't know. We could probably get away without the splash, and that would save a lot of like rare cards too. Like if you don't have these, I think you could totally just run a Teamer mana base and be fine. I would think. Maybe at that point, if you are doing that, maybe you do want more ways to trade out. Maybe you want more plundering pirates too. Maybe you want 4 of these instead. Just more treasure tokens. Those did help a lot, didn't they? No, I mean, Larcenist helps a lot more, though. Just being removal, I don't think you want to drop any Larcenists. Although I could see going down to 2 Confounding Riddles, but that's probably just like me barely knowing how to play with counter spells, too. Like, when to keep stuff open. My brain was slowly melting for some reason. I think I'm warmed up now. I think I'm okay to play some more Magic, record some more videos, but I do actually think it was the deck a little bit, too. We had a lot of options all the time, which was kind of wild. Felt good. It felt good, man. It actually felt decent. Although it's probably, well, not probably, it's still jank. It's still jank because of what it's trying to do. Dracosaur, I would have liked to see get onto the board too. Okay, so what's the final conclusion of the final thoughts? Number 1, if you want, you could get away with a Temur mana base, and I think you'll be fine. If you do that, you might want more ways to get treasures, but overall, I wouldn't worry about it too much. That being said, the current mana base as is felt pretty good. I think this was excellent, and I think this would actually help you cast these out if you had to, right? Number 2, we probably want 3 to 4 Trumpeting Connoisseurs just for more removal. I would say 3, and I would drop down the Bonehoard Dracosaur for that. So you're dropping a dinosaur, going up a dinosaur, but this dinosaur plugs itself into the graveyard for the Throne of the Grim Captain, which is what you're trying to do anyways. Then also when you bring it out, when you attack with the Grim Captain and bring out the Trumpeting Connoisseur, then you have that Discover 5 too, so you're also hitting something else, hopefully like Larcenist or something. Take a blocker out of the equation, that now your swing is just disgusting, and like Throne of the Grim Captain has Menace too, so yeah, I think all 4 Larcenists is perfect, and then 3 Connoisseurs would probably be better than the 2 Dracosaurs. So drop 1, go up to 3. Other than that, yeah, no, I still like it, and more testing's required, absolutely. So like, I still think that just this version of the build without changing anything, more testing required for sure. Felt good. Maybe like 4 Epicures too, because the blood tokens, yeah, the blood tokens will probably, like, if we take anything from that last game, we needed more ways to plug cards from our hand. And like, instead of going up a 3rd Bitter Reunion, that's just another vampire that you get to see when it comes time for the Grim Captain too. So, all right. Let me know, how would you have put together a Grim Captain build? This was a pretty tough one to build, and I'm curious to see how different everyone's build would be. I'm pretty sure this is very different than the Discord list, although we're running some of the same creatures, which, by the way, that list looked awesome. So thank you again for the suggestion. The suggestion was just to play Throne of the Grim Captain in whatever build I chose. This was the build I landed on, so hopefully it was a fun one. I know it was fun for me, but yeah, it was a tough one apparently too. All right, guys, hey, you made it this far into the video for real. Y'all are champions. I super duper appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.